Protestant, Muslim against Jew, Jew against Muslim. And again, they use that to compartmentalize. Stay there, Catherine. We're going to come back and get Stefan's take on what you were saying. Then I've got the big Google news in our fight with those guys trying to censor us. We've had a victory on one front, not on the other front yet. Google search term, Google evil. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As they're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today, seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv. Hello, friends. This is Alex Jones. You've heard me talk about Cal-Ben 5-star soaps for years. This is an American-made product of the highest quality and compares to nothing you will find in stores. You can buy factory direct, shipped via UPS right to your door. Check them out on the web at 5starsoap.com. or call 800-340-7091. Take my word for it. Once you've used Pure Soap, you won't buy anything else. Since 1947, Cal-Ben Soap Company has been showing consumers that soap can be tough on dirt and gentle on the environment. Buy American and stay clean, as well as support InfoWars. Visit 5starsoap.com today or call 1-800-340-7091. Well, Marty, what do you have to say?
As founder and owner for over 63 years, satisfaction is guaranteed or double your dirt back. Call us at 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog or visit our website, 5starsoap.com. Thank you.
This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
We now take you live to the Central Texas Command Center and the heart of the resistance, rallying patriots worldwide. You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Stefan Molyneux is our guest. Going to try to jam in a few more calls for him, but I got to get to all this other news, so please have your question or comment ready. Catherine, crystallizing, boiling down what you're saying or what your question or statement is. I mean, just elaborate briefly on what you were trying to say.
It's basically about the horizontal relationships. And I mean, in a nutshell, there isn't anyone to have a horizontal relationship with because, like, I feel like, you know, everybody's been so brainwashed to keep everyone else in line. And every time I try to wake them up, they're like injecting me verbally with something to put me back to sleep.
No, I know. A lot of times if you're nice to somebody under you, they'll subconsciously think you're weak and then try to dominate you. I learned this growing up, not that I'm some perfect person. I mean, after somebody attacks me, then I become very vicious, very sneaky, very aggressive. But I was never envious of wealth and power and beauty. I always admired it. But so many of the, quote, underclass, they just hate anyone who has a penny more than them, and they hate and disdain those under them that have a penny less. And it's like their worth is some type of false template or hologram in their mind of kind of like baseball cards they've collected, instead of just being in awe of the magic of consciousness and the human experience on this incredible planet hurtling through deep space. But I hear what you're saying, Catherine. It's very, very frustrating. Humans are hierarchical at their base because we were meant to admire the strongest, the most loving, the most dynamic, those with the most charisma in our tribes, but we were in small enough groups that empowered the whole group to emulate the strong and to honor the pure. If you go back to really ancient societies, then as they became bigger, the parasite con artist class comes in, whether it's the Aztecs, the Babylonians, the ancient Visigoths. Every culture does the same thing. Stefan, what's your view on that?
Yeah, I agree. If people can't see you, you just have to get bigger. You have to get bigger and bigger until people can see you. I'm the kind of guy who I want to take on the biggest Goliath, because the greater the enemy, the greater the pride of victory, and we are going to win. But people can't see you over the shadow of Goliath. So you just have to put on your heels, make a podcast, make a blog, write a book, call into shows until people can see you. And then I think that they will join you. And I think we should all be proud of taking on the greatest and oldest tyranny in the face of the world, because there's going to be much honor when we win. And the fact that it looks sometimes hopeless, the fact that we look so small relative to the Goliath that we're fighting, just makes our courage all the greater. And I hope that helps.
Exactly. Here's a relationship example, and this has been well documented in psychological studies and just in common sense. Some of the easiest women, say you're 20 years old in college or working, some of the easiest women to pick up for a date are the most beautiful bombshells. And that's because most people are intimidated by them, A, but B, people are mean to good-looking people. People, I mean, I'm not super great looking now because I'm like 30 pounds overweight and getting to be middle-aged. But when I was, 15, 20, 25, I mean, I was super good looking. And I always wondered why, and as I got older, I understood it, why normally people that would see themselves as ugly hated me so much. It was because I was seen as archetypally good looking. And but the same thing is for, why do you see so many guys who aren't really super handsome with beautiful women? Well, they've got a good personality. They've got other things that are beautiful. And they're also learn the secret that the better looking the woman, the easier they are to pick up for a date. I mean, I'm not, Stefan, do you see where I'm going with this? That none of it, we're not confident in ourselves.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that we're looking at history, not at the future. We need to shoot. It's like a grappling hook. You see in those spy movies, they shoot this grappling hook up to the top of the parapet, and then they pull themselves up. We don't need to look back at everything that's been lost. We don't need to look back at all the disasters that have occurred. We don't even look into the near future where this transition is going to occur. We need to shoot our hopes like a huge grappling hook and climb up to a future that may be a generation away, but we can still get there. If you focus on the immediate, you will lose heart, because they have the aircraft carriers, they have the nuclear weapons, they have the prisons, they have the currency. But if you shoot your hopes over the present into the future, that gives you propulsion, and that allows you to spread hope to others.
Yeah, we've got to lead. We've got to lead. And the Pentagon admits now 90% of their operations are info war. There is a war on for your mind. They know that if they can't dominate your mind, they've lost. It doesn't matter what weapon systems they have.
The state is an effect of a delusion called the inconsequence of the citizens. And as soon as we drop that loss of confidence, as soon as we drop that inconsequentiality, the state shrinks to nothing in our minds.
Stefan, do you agree with me, and I foresaw this almost 5 weeks ago, that the TSA is bigger than just saying no to them dominating us and putting their hands down their pants? The social engineers know this is about the next level of tyranny, being searched in our homes, our roads, the shopping malls, our offices. And they know that our resistance to this is a symbol of us getting our will back and our strength and standing up to them. And that if we stand up to them on this and have victory, we'll stand up on everything and have victory. And that's why they're so scared.
Everything that the state does, every expansion of state power is a trial balloon. And if we shoot it down, they withdraw and they go someplace else. And so, yeah, I think the containment, I think that recognizing that the TSA, it was inevitable that they were going to end up groping people and body scanning, because that's what the government does. They take a reasonable idea like security and turn it into a tyranny every single time. So, yeah, every expansion of state power is a trial balloon to see what people will accept.
Absolutely. Let's talk to Sean in Ohio. You're on the air with our guest. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up?
Worldwide transmission. What's on your mind?
Just the Google thing. Which part were you going to say they let down? The news search?
I'm going to get to it after Stefan is gone. If you want me to put you on hold, I'll come back to you when I get to it. But I've got to spend some time on this to explain it, or people will misunderstand it. If I don't, communicate it, maybe because I'm not a good communicator. But the point is that I'm going to get to that in a few minutes. Do you have any questions for our guest?
If you want to put me back on hold, go ahead.
All right, I'll do it. I'll put you on hold. Michael in Texas, you're on the air.
Yes, good afternoon, gentlemen. Hey, Alex, by the way, I've been trying to get in touch with you. I'm a writer, and I want to volunteer. I don't want a job. Like weeks ago, you said you needed more writers and I don't want you to pay me. I want to volunteer. So
well, we have a lot of folks that get their columns posted at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com, so send in some sample pieces to writers@Infowars.com.
Yeah, I don't even want my name on it. I just want to help. So
well, it'll be fine if you want your name on it, or if you send us good stuff, you can have a link at the bottom to your website. That we like to promote other liberty people. So anybody that wants us to post their columns, if it's online with basically the liberty movement exposing the globalist, and if I read over it and it looks like it's well researched and factual, we'll start carrying your work. But anything for our guest?
Yes. Psychologically, I think that we're going to win, especially on the what I think is the most important issue, which is the Federal Reserve. The war chest that the globalists create for themselves with this Ponzi scheme that is our money system is, if we attack that, everything else will crumble. But the problem that I have, Alex and Stefan, and see if you can address this, when that issue is won, I think there is going to be a financial collapse in this country. And I think that inevitably the people who looked at us as the conspiracy theorists and the Ron Paul supporters, they're going to say, hey, wait a second, you were the guy that pushed for the collapse of the end of the Fed, and now look what happened. Well,
sir, I've been saying that for years. No. They did that during the Great Depression. The bankers suck you dry. They vertically integrate the money. When it implodes, they allow opposition to come in and blame it on them. They're already blaming Rand Paul, who's never been in office, for the depression that's coming, saying he caused it because he wants to audit the Fed. Great points. Appreciate the call. Stefan, comments.
Well, yeah, look, it's entirely right that the power to print your own money, the power to type whatever you want into your own bank account is not something that people are going to give up lightly. You can't have war and oppression without fiat currency, fundamentally, or at least it's very, very, very limited in what can be achieved. So it is absolutely essential that currency be privatized and that there's competing currencies and that violence is not used. It is as simple, to make the case against the Fed is as simple as making the universal moral statement that counterfeiting is immoral. And it doesn't matter whether you're a guy in a suit in a big office or you're a guy in a basement in his underwear. It is immoral to counterfeit money. And government is as subject to virtue and vice and good and evil as anybody else.
Because counterfeit destroys what people have really saved, and it gives unfair trade advantage to the insiders.
Yeah, and it's a terrible tax on the poor. It's the most brutal tax on the poor. Inflation, anybody who's on a fixed income, anybody who's spending a large proportion of their income on the essentials gets completely destroyed by
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. Rushing through calls here. We'll have you back soon. Look forward to it. Let's go to Matt in the UK. You're on with Stefan Molyneux. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex, and good afternoon, and good afternoon, Stefan. My first point is, from a British point of view, is when you mention about the fat slobs in the UK, by the way, get your facts right, and the first point of view is not everyone's a fat slob in the UK. Is basically, when Alex mentioned about desperate...
Well, not everybody's a fat slob in the U.S., but I am. No, I mean, I'm not saying everybody's a fat slob in the UK.
You will, Alex, not at all. You're not at all. What I'm saying is, Alex was mentioning, an intellect like myself, is... in the UK, there's people that are hard working like myself and energy working and things like that, and we keep the UK going. basically, my point is basically, I know that New World Order are going to cripple this country, and the bankers get